Hello, my name is Jérôme Leroux. I am a CNRS researcher working at the University of Bordeaux. This presentation is about one of my favorite research topics, the reachability problem for Petri nets. Since this presentation is following the Lucas 1 on exactly the same result, I decided to make this presentation as a teaser of our two exciting recent results. To do so, I will focus my presentation on side results about the Petri net reachability problem that somehow highlights our two accepted papers. So this is a Petri net. It's a bipartite graph with two kinds of nodes, rounded nodes called places and rectangular nodes called transition. The configuration of a Petri net, also called a marking in that context, is a mapping that assigns to each place a natural number, graphically denoted as a number of tokens. In this example, we start with an initial configuration that puts just one token in the leftmost place. The semantics is defined as follows. A transition is fireable if all the input places of that transition contains at least one token. In that case, firing the transition, we remove one token from each input place and put one token in each output place. As you can see, the leftmost transition is fireable. In that case, we can fire it and we will get this configuration. From that configuration, the rightmost transition is no executable, is not fireable, and so if we try to fire it, there is the effect is none, is no effect. But if we execute that transition, we get a configuration from which we can now execute that transition and get this configuration. This model is a natural model in concurrency with many applications in other fields. The reachability problem asks, given a Petri net, an initial configuration and a final one, whether there exists a sequence of steps from the initial configuration to the final one. This problem is very general, since many other problems related to Petri net reduce to that problem. Moreover, there exist reductions from or to the reachability problem in other fields that makes the problem central in computer science. As mentioned in the previous talk, this problem is known to be decidable since 1981, thanks to an algorithm given by Mayer, and several variants of that algorithm have been developed in the past, for instance from Kozaraju and Lambert. But somehow all those algorithms are based on the same technique, except one that I will now briefly recall. This algorithm, this other algorithm, is a very simple one. It's based on the following property. If a final configuration is not reachable from the initial one, then there exists a formula in the Presburger arithmetic. So Presburger arithmetic is the first order logic over the natural number with the addition. A formula, so there exists a formula that denotes a set of configurations such that it contains the initial configuration, it does not contain the final configuration, and it's a forward inductive. It means that starting from a configuration in that set, there is no way, by executing the transition, there is no way to escape from that set. Those three properties can be expressed in the Presburger arithmetic, and since this logic is decidable, we directly obtain the correctness and determination of a simple algorithm deciding the reachability problem, which is based on two semi-decision algorithm. The first one that tries to prove that a final configuration is reachable by exploring the reachability graph starting from the initial configuration and firing transition by transition. And the second one, executed in parallel with the first one, that tries to prove that the final configuration is not reachable by enumerating Presburger formulas and by checking at each enumeration if the selected formula is a witness of unreachability, meaning a formula satisfying those three conditions. The existence of such a formula is not trivial, since there exist Petri nets that exhibit reachability set that cannot be expressed in the Presburger arithmetic, meaning that the invariance must be necessarily over-approximating the reachability set. This is, for instance, the case for this example, which exhibit an exponential behavior. This example comes from Hopcroft and Poncio in 1979. In this example, we have 5 places, P1 ordered from P1 to P5, and with a proof by hand, we can show that starting from the initial configuration 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, meaning one token in the first 2 places P1 and P2, we can reach a configuration of the form x1 up to x5 if and only if either x1 is 1 and x4 is 0, and in that case x2 plus x3 is bounded by 2 power x5, or x1 is 0 and x4 is 1, and in that case x2 plus 2 times x3 is bounded by 2 power x5 plus 1. As you can see, this example exhibits a reachability set that requires an exponential constraint which cannot be expressed in the Presburger arithmetic, because in that logic, in the Presburger arithmetic, we can only express linear constraints. So it means that the witness of unreachability, as mentioned in the previous slides, must be obtained by over-approximating this set. The key idea in order to obtain such an over-approximation is as follows. If you look at those two constraints, somehow they disappear if the variables x2, x3, x5 have the same order of magnitude, but in such a way they are very large. Because if they have the same order of magnitude, the fact that the sum of x2 plus x3 is bounded by something that is exponentially large compared to x5 is a trivial property. And this is the main idea. This is the main idea of the algorithm that proves the existence of witness of unreachability in the Presburger arithmetic. This algorithm is obtained by observing that asymptotically nonlinear constraints disappear. This exponential behavior is not the worst behavior that we can encounter when we analyze Petri nets, and in fact we can also obtain behaviors coming from the fast-growing functions. So let us define those functions. So there is many variant definitions, and the definition that Lucas introduced in the presentation just before is slightly different, but for our purpose they are all equivalent. So let us introduce the function fd. From the natural number to the natural number, those functions are parameterized by a natural number d, and they are defined as follows. So f0 is the successor function, so f0 of n is n plus 1, and by induction fd plus 1 is defined by iterating the function fd n plus 1 time starting from n. So for instance, if you look at f1 is f0 that we iterate n plus 1 times, so we increment n plus 1 times, we will get 2 times n plus 1. For f2, if you iterate f1 n plus 1 times, you can prove that you get 2 power n plus 1 times n plus 1 minus 1. f3 will be a tower, and so on. And this link between the fast-growing function and the Petrinet reachability problem was known since 1981. In fact, Meyer and Meyer proved that we can compute in linear time in D a Petrinet with D plus a constant number of places that weakly compute FD, meaning that the Petrinet has a special input place, such that if you put the natural number n on that place and you look at the maximal value you can obtain on another special output place, you will get exactly FD of n. They deduce from that result that the containment problem of finite reachability sets is Ackermannian hard. So it means that if you have two Petrinets with some initial configurations, and if you look at the reachability set that you can obtain from those two Petrinets, and you try to decide the inclusion of those two sets, you will get a problem that is Ackermannian hard. So since 1981, it was known that this problem is very hard, but this problem is similar to the reachability problem, but not exactly. For the reachability problem, we ask if a special, particular configuration is a member of a reachability set. So concerning the complexity lower bound of the reachability problem, it was known since Lipton in 1976 that the problem is exponential space hard. During 40 years, this complexity was the best known lower bound, and recently we crack up this complexity bound by proving that the problem is at least tower hard. And this year, with two independent papers, we proved that the reachability problem in fact is Ackermannian hard. Our result, in fact, is based on the same ideas introduced in the tower hard paper. So the central ideas in order to obtain this Ackermannian hard was already known in the tower hardness paper, but finally those two papers provide the last key idea to solve the problem. So intuitively, in the two approaches, we prove that there exist Petrinets that computes triples of the form KL, KL for large but fixed K and arbitrary value L. And we use then those Petrinets in order to simulate Minsky machines with counters bounded by K. Concerning the complexity upper bound, with Silverschmitz, 2 years ago, we proved that the Petrinet reachability problem is Ackermannian easy, meaning that the complexity of the problem now is closed. It's Ackermannian complete. But in that paper, we also proved that the reachability problem for finite reachability set, is in fact log space interreducible to the general problem. It means that if you look at the problem, the general problem, so you start from a Petrinet and an initial configuration on a final one, the reachability problem can be reduced to the special case where the reachability set is finite, meaning that there exists a simple algorithm. In that case, we just have to explore the reachability set, and our recent result, lower bound, Ackermannian complexity lower bound, prove that this algorithm, this exploration algorithm, somehow is an optimal algorithm. Our proof is based on a variant of the original algorithm. In fact, we introduce an improved unfolding technique compared to the classical algorithm, and we show that a new ranking function that takes benefits from this improved technique can be applied in order to obtain an Ackermannian complexity upper bound. As future work, so I would like to mention that the reachability problem for many classes, many extensions of Petrinets is still open, like for data nets, for branching VAS, and for push-down VAS. Let us recall that during 40 years, it was known that Ackermannian values are weakly computable by Petrinets before that result was converted into an Ackermannian complexity lower bound. For push-down vector addition systems, we can weakly compute hyper-Ackermannian functions. This is a 2-year-old result. And the question, natural question now is how to transfer this result into a complexity lower bound. So because for those extensions of Petri nets, the best, for the moment, the best complexity lower bound, so those problems are open, the decidability is still open, but also the best known complexity lower bound comes from just the Petri net. So we don't have a way to take benefits, we don't know how to take benefits from the extra power of those models in order to get better complexity lower bound. So a natural question is it true that the reachability problem for push-down bus is hyper-Ackermannian? So hyper-Ackermannian is a function that is defined inductively like the Ackermannian function, but that grows quickly than the Ackermannian value. So thanks for your attention. Don't hesitate to ask any question, either now or by email. Don't hesitate to ask me some question. Thanks.